A victory by Labour, we're now told, will endanger Brexit. That's Rishi Sunak's judgment and his warning. I would be delighted. In an article for the Daily Telegraph, Rishi Sunak discusses his concerns about the potential impact of a Labour victory on Brexit and other policy areas. The key points he makes are, firstly, that Labour is a threat to Brexit. He thinks that Sir Keir Starmer wants to reverse Brexit. Sir Keir Starmer has been very cautious about claiming that. He alleges that Starmer intends to negotiate a cosy deal with the EU, which Sunak believes would involve accepting more migrants in exchange. Again, this bogeyman approach to understanding Brexit. Brexit is about significantly more than migration. Migration is something that we have to deal as a global community. And Sunak argues that Labour's approach would jeopardise the economic benefits and the regulatory freedoms that Brexit has supposedly brought to the UK, but nobody seems able on the Brexit side to articulate. It's all about asserting rather than showing. Keir Starmer has indeed called for a closer cooperation with the EU in areas like education, defence, security, maintaining standards on workers' rights and food. And the stance suggests a willingness to align more closely with EU regulations and standards, which contrasts with the Conservative Party's pugilistic emphasis on Brexit-driven regulatory independence and control over immigration, which doesn't work. So there's a choice between a relationship with Europe that has ground to a halt or a relationship with Europe which is proactive. The Sunak defends Brexit as beneficial to the EU economy, but I don't see that benefit. He cites examples such as the growth of free ports. There was a wonderful Disney film where Alan Thingamy was a villain. It's Passamaquoddy. What was it now? Pete's Dragon. Money, money, money by the pound. Where the villains were discussing how to make money out of marketing bits of a dead dragon, and that seems very much like a metaphor for Brexit. The rise, Sunak would say, of the UK as a fourth largest exporter globally due to new trade deals. Giving everything away isn't necessarily a mark of success, is it? Having a flea sale, a flea bag sale, or a boot sale, car boot sale, is not necessarily a sign of affluence. Sunak portrays Brexit as integral to fostering growth in sectors like financial services, agriculture and technology, asserting that Labour's policies could reverse these gains. I haven't seen those gains, but I agree. Those are the areas in which gains could be made. It just hasn't happened. The EU Rejoin movement, while not directly addressed in Sunak's statements, remains a contentious issue because Brexit is a contentious issue with potential implications for movements like Rejoin EU, which advocate for the UK rejoining the European Union, like the Lib Dems. The current political landscape, however, seems more focused on managing the aftermath of Brexit than reversing it outright. And the discussions about the political and economic uncertainty Brexit has produced, and the polarising of political debate following Brexit, following the impact of Brexit, and the apparently the contrasting views between Labour and the Conservatives on future EU relations. It's about very modest differences because neither Labour nor the Conservatives want to talk about Brexit. They don't want to mention the concept of Brexit. And I'm amazed that Sunak is prepared to put his neck out and use the B word in public. I can see why he does it in print, because he now cannot be challenged. He cannot be made to explain. Because if he were doing this in a public forum, I would say, so tell me, name the Brexit benefits. What are they? What are the Brexit benefits? Because Andrea Leadsom was asked this many times, and she says, well, we were the first with the vaccine. And then she looks up as if she's remembering and saying, well, Israel may have got there. I think Israel may have got there. But she does the same act every time she's asked. If you notice, it's as if she's just suddenly remembered Israel. This is a pose, and it's not that she's only just suddenly thought that the vaccine was the only Brexit benefit that she can name. It is the only Brexit benefit that she can name. And it's not really a benefit because it was done under EU rules. So there is no Brexit benefit. There is no Brexit bonus. You know, we have to get that into our very, very small brains. Brexit has been a disaster. But Brexit has happened. And I don't understand why we can't then make it work. We still seem to be stuck in this ideological conversation about whether Brexit was good. We need to get out of the nursery and into the real world. Or we need to get out of the schoolyard, where we're discussing the pros and cons of something that we don't have to deal with. We have to deal with Brexit. Farmers, schools, the health service has to deal with the fallout of Brexit. We made life difficult for these people. We made life difficult for ourselves. Now, pull up our bootstraps and actually get on with living it. Because it's not going to reverse in one generation. And the ideological conversation about whether or not we should rejoin Europe is a different conversation to how we actually survive in the meantime. Yes, Brexit was a disaster. Yes, Brexit was wrong. But turning back the clock isn't the way forward. Turning forward the clock, negotiating a realignment with the EU, yes, that might well be the way forward. Recognising that Brexit was wrong, yes, that might be a useful discussion. But living with Brexit, that is what we have to do. And that's what the present government has failed absolutely to manage, because it's tried to divert our attention to migrants, to Albanians, to Pakistanis, but enough of Suella Braverman. You know, Suella Braverman's diversionary tactics, screaming at the dispatch box about invaders, was simply because she had nothing positive to say about Brexit. Because there is nothing positive to say about this thing that she wanted so much. She doesn't dream of Rwanda. She dreams of success. Rwanda was her route to success, and it was wrong. It was a shortcut. She was mistaken. As I say, we all need to grow up. And in summary, Rishi Sunak's comments in the Telegraph underscore the ideological divide between the Conservatives and Labour regarding Brexit and the European Union. While Brexit seeks closer ties, while Labour seeks closer ties with Europe in various domains, the Conservatives want to emphasise the benefits of Brexit independence and economic opportunities outside the European framework. It's a matter of observation. It's not a matter of different policies. Both the Conservatives and Labour have to deal with the period of time when Brexit is in effect. Labour have to deal with the same issues that Conservatives have to deal with. We're not changing the rule book because we can't. The only way to change the rule book is to renegotiate our relationship. In the meantime, we have to make Brexit work. And the Conservatives have failed. Now it's up to Labour to get on with it. But ultimately, we need to realign our relationship. And that may well be reversing Brexit. It may well be that there's another relationship we can opt for with Europe. But either way, it's about enhancing and cementing our relationship with Europe. And that is something that the Conservative leaders from Theresa May onwards, Theresa May, Boris, the absurd Liz Truss, and the desperate Rishi Sunak have all failed to recognise. No amount of stamping on the desk and fear-mongering about Brexit being reversed is going to change the history of inadequate policies and inadequate response by the Conservative governments since the fall of David Cameron. Nothing changes that.